Hey YouTubers, this is Jason. I'm here to talk to you about my vasectomy and the symptoms and prolonged issues I've had since then, as well as my vasectomy reversal and attempts to try to cure those problems. Since my vasectomy, I was about 22 years of age, almost 23. 3 months following my procedure, I had experienced some pain. Went to the doctor, and he had explained to me that the pain was due to some granulomas, or otherwise known as scar tissue, that is developed around the tips of the cords where it was cut and soldered. He said they come back in 3 months, and everything should subside by then, if not. Um, and everything did go away until about a year after the procedure, when I started developing some more severe symptoms, which first was the night sweats, some really heavy night sweats, which would indicate some sort of hormonal imbalance. Unfortunately for myself, I was not educated on any of this stuff, so I just thought maybe it was hot summer nights, drinking, or whatever it was at the time. And then I started to notice my hair was falling out, and as you can see, I got a receding hairline here going on. Some of you people may say, "Oh, it's all relatively, normal, getting older." However, my prostate had also swollen up, and I was having some symptoms of not being able to pee well. And that still to this day is persistent. Also, my libido took a slow dive. I don't want to say quite a big dive, but it took a while for it to diminish completely. And then onset was the short-term memory loss, and that's continuously growing with time, and very, very, very much concerned about that. Um, yeah, and the libido issue is quite a funny story, but I had a woman who was over, and someone I was really excited to be with, someone I'd never been with before, so you know how that goes. And so I was not able to perform, and quite embarrassing, especially it hit me my ego pretty hard, and so at that point, and that's when I kind of started to seek other forms of information out there in terms of like reaching out to my doctor and looking on the internet and finding out what was wrong with me. And I went to the doctor, and I got a endocrinologist to do a full blood panel on me, did a free range testosterone and total. He did some of the minor hormones related to it. Um, did a PSA test, also a Lyme disease test, a high metal test because I was taking pre-supplement drinks before I go to the gym, just like typical caffeine stuff. Um, just to make sure everything was in line, and the test results came back, and unfortunately everything was in line. I mean, for my case, it's unfortunate because they don't have an answer, and the rule of thumb is that if these doctors don't have an answer, they're going to blow you off and say, oh well, it's all in your head. And it's not in my head because there's physical problems here that are going on. And the reason for this video is to expose some of these things that the doctor is not going to tell you, or that pamphlet you get when you go into the doctor's office. Is you're not going to find anything about losing your hair, or your libido, or your mind, and it's very frustrating. A lot of information out there points to how these doctors don't understand how the body functions hormonally. Yes, they understand how testosterone is tied to your hormones, but there's a lot of hormones that are tied within your testosterone and other things that make up a lot of who you are in a sense. For example, there's a pituitary gland in your brain that secretes some smaller hormones, but those hormones are unmeasurable. They don't understand how they coexist within your body and how your body reacts to them. So keep that in mind. And everything in your body is connected to your brain. So when you cut that cord, it's sending a signal to your brain saying, "Hey, something's not functioning." So whatever your pituitary gland is supposed to be secreting is no longer secreting functionally. Um, and there's no way to tell what is lacking because all those hormones, as I described to you, are unmeasurable. They can't measure them. They don't know. They don't have a foundation, a number like when you get your testosterone, you're supposed to be in a certain range. There's no range for these types of smaller hormones. Um, so therefore, you kind of you're just left in the dark, and everybody just says, "Oh, it's all in your head." But getting back to my story, I went out and I got a vasectomy reversal done from the research that I had done online. And people, these are just people who've experienced the same thing. None of them doctors, but they told me to go get it done in hopes of curing some of these problems, and I did. 6 months later, um, the only thing that showed a decrease was the pressure involved with testicles, excuse me, and that was just I mean that was great, but I mean I really kind of wish I had my sharpness, my quickness, my character back, and that's what I'm truly missing. But for those of you who are looking to relieve some pain, I would strongly suggest getting a reversal done. And for any of you those non-believers out there, I think I'm making this shit up. Here is my pictures I've gotten done. Um, I went to Dr. Edward Cartman, and he is in San Jose. Drove all the way out there, spent $8,500. You know, almost tossed it out the window essentially. But I got to be thankful that at least I'm not in pain like some of these other guys are out there. I just don't have my libido or don't have my wits back, and I got prostate all flamed up and can't take a piss half the time. So keep all this in mind, you guys. And there's also some auto immune disorders that come along with cutting that cord and your sperm being exposed to the bloodstream as a foreign entity, and so your blood starts to attack the sperm, and it's all just not good news. I'll just put it to you like that. You're going to come across your family and relative members. They're going to tell you the opposite. Oh, I had it. I've had it for years and I'm fine. And blah 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 blah. And I'm sure that's great. I'm happy for them. And they're just fortunate people that they're not within this 1% of people who've experienced these things. But keep this all in mind. And it's all relative. And they don't have enough long-term studies on this stuff yet. So. Anyway, if any of you have any questions or maybe even suggestions or cures or remedies or any of that stuff, please put something below. I'd love to hear from you all. And it's kind of strange that you don't see anybody else on the internet putting these videos up. I'm kind of the first of their kind. But good luck, everyone. Thanks a lot for watching.